We said yesterday the beautiful words of the Maharal to explain the connection between matzah and mar and Leil Seder. Why we mar? It implies there is bitterness, and there is bitterness. The point of the bitterness of the Seder is to understand that the bitterness also comes from Hashem. It's from the same place the mercy comes from, the bitterness comes from, and we should know the bitterness is all from Hashem. There's a beautiful pasuk in Eicha, Perek Gimel, pasuk Lameches, Mipi Elyon lo teitze haros va'atov. From the mouth of Hashem does not come bad and good. So this is what we're saying basically from the Maharal, that good and bad, and the Maharal in fact quotes this pasuk, right? The good and bad don't come from Hashem. There's only one mahalach from Hashem. There's no mahalach of good and bad, right? And in fact, the Maharsha makes a very interesting diuk. The Maharsha is in Psachim Daf Nun. Mipi Elyon lo teitze haros va'atov. Why is the ra in plural and the tov is in singular? So the Maharsha is a very, very deep idea. It's Maharsha in Psachim. He says, Mipi Elyon lo teitze haros va'atov haboim shinoi neged atov hamiti. Right? The reason it's singular is because Tov Hashem is all one. Aval im boim ba'olam hazeh l'fi makabel. The ra comes in this world according to the makabel. Ve'ein achduso nikar l'fi shinoi makabel. Yeah. People look different. This one goes in this way, this one's suffering that way, this one takes experience one way, this takes experience the other way. If you look at the people, it looks like people are suffering. It looks like one person's doing good, one person's doing bad, one person's happy, one person's sad. You see a variety of experiences, right? But says the Maharsha, there's only the feeling of Makabla. In truth, it's one hashpah. One hashpah of good is coming to the world. It just views itself as many, many different hashbos when it gets down to the people. And I want to share with you a very interesting chiddush that I had on this pasuk. It says, Mipi Elyon lo teitze haros va'atov. Yeah? What does pshat? Mipi Elyon lo teitze. It doesn't come from Hashem's mouth. And what's the pshat? The pshat is that it comes from our mouth. Mipi Elyon lo teitze haros va'atov. Right? From Hashem's mouth it doesn't come. It comes from our mouth. Right? If you want your life to be good, filled with goodness, you want every single experience you have to be tachlis hatov, to be the most incredible experience, olam haba mamish. As we say, kimei hashemayim al aretz. You want to live yimei hashemayim al aretz. It's not mipi elyon. It's mipi cha. Your mouth is in control. By saying kol ma'adav rachman l'tov, by saying that's good, by proclaiming it being good, then it becomes good. And that's mipi elyon lo teitze haros v'tov. Hashem has put the power in our hands in order to create a world of complete goodness, a life of goodness. By saying it's good, it becomes good. My son, I was trying to be mechanech my son in this area. He asked me saying, I'm doing right. Yeah, I'm doing good. Okay, doing fine. And I said, no, don't say you're doing fine. Say you're doing great. Great. And then I call him up on the phone. I said, how are you doing? He said, I'm doing great. Right? The way that you proclaim life, that's what it is. By proclaiming things as being great, they will be great. Yeah? To see the good. How do you see the good in life? By proclaiming it to be good. You're having a terrible day? Don't tell people it's a terrible day. Don't kvetch. Don't complain. Yeah? Say, Baruch Hashem, I'm alive and well. Everything is good. I have my health. I have my family. Whatever you have, thank Hashem for it. Whatever you don't have, daven, it should get better. Yeah? And that's me, pi elyon lo teitze haros va'atov. Yeah? The bad doesn't come from Hashem's mouth. It comes from our mouth. The Zohar, in fact, says we say Lashon Hara, we send up the hashbaz. We send up to Shamayim hashbaz. And then they come down. They come down to us. The very same kvetching and complaints and bad words that we say, they come right back down onto our heads. We have to be so careful when we speak, because everything we say will be held against us. We'll be held accountable for it, and it will come back to us in due course of time. Yeah? So remember these holy words of the Maharsha and the words of the pasuk we're saying here today. The good and the bad, they're all one. Like we said about the mar and the matzah. It's all one. Hashem is echad. Hashem lokeinu Hashem echad. Everything Hashem does is one, and everything we do is one. And the purpose of life is to praise and recognize Hashem, His goodness in the world, His goodness and His kindness and His chesed that He pours down onto us. He pours His chesed onto us. Poseach es yodecho maspiel chol chayratzon. All we have to do is hold out our hands and to accept Hashem's goodness. Hashem Yisrael should help us to always be positive, always see things as good, no matter how bad they look. Remember, the worse they look, the better they are. If it looks terrible, it's buried within the tremendous potential for ultimate goodness. Hashem should help us to see this on a daily basis, and especially during Pesach, right? It could be the Vilna Gaon said it could be it didn't, but it's reported in the name of the Vilna Gaon that the hardest mitzvah in the Torah is to be happy for 7 days. Hashem Yishbach should help us. All 7 days of Yom Tov, b'samachta v'chagecha, we should sing and dance and eat wine and meat and whatever, for children with nuts and women with their clothes. Everybody should do what makes them happy, and we should have a true fulfillment of the mitzvah v'samachta v'chagecha. Amen. Kein Ratzon.